No, it wouldn't be.
We're all set.
Okay. I'll call this meeting to order, the December meeting of the City of Bowling Green's Planning Commission, our last meeting of the year. Welcome, everyone. Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bati? Ms. Broadwell?
Here.
Ms. Ennis?
Here.
Mr. McComber?
Here.
Mr. Phillips? Mr. Remus?
Here.
Ms. Sleek?
Here.
Mr. Spittler?
Here.
And Mr. Stalter.
Here.
Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the minutes. The minutes have been passed out to all the members of the commission prior to this meeting. Are there any additions or deletions or corrections to those minutes?
No.
If not, they are approved as they were passed out to us. The next item on the agenda is our usual lobby visitation. It's a chance for anybody that wants to talk to us about any item that is not on tonight's agenda to.
Was that you trying to talk, Bill? No? Okay.
Is there anybody that wishes to address the commission tonight? Looks like no, and that about covers everybody in the audience, so I think.
Little man in the back, what are you here for? Could you tell us?
He's stuck with me.
He's Nate's son. He's here to watch his dad.
What do you think about this meeting? Have you ever been to one?
I'm not happy.
No? Are you happy to be with Dad, though, right? That was a good answer.
All right, next on the agenda is probably the main item for the evening, which is a preliminary plan for Stone Ridge Plat 9, located at the end of Pine Valley Drive and identified as parcel number B08-510-260000001502. Heather, do you have anything to tell us about this?
Well, sure. I can let you know that this is Plat 9 of Stone Ridge. That's been around for a long time now. This would be at the end of the existing Pine Valley, and it would have a new street along there, approximately 21 lots. And then the owner or the developer would be Tony Buff Custom Homes. We do have Shane Huntley here also of ELI, who created the plan as the engineer, so he can answer any specific questions you have. There are no waiver requests with this, so it does meet all of our subdivision regulations, so there's no issues with that. As far as our typical process, this is step one, to have a preliminary drawing that Planning Commission approves. Then normally, once that's approved, then they would turn around and submit construction plans when those are complete to our city. Our staff reviews those, and once they're approved, they can start with infrastructure installation. Once that's near completion is normally when you would see the final plat. So there is some time with this, but this is stage one. I also have an aerial view that was part of your packet, along with on the screen. And then we do have a large, let's see here, site plan, if you do want to see that. I know it's hard to see what we put in your packet, just it's easier for us than copying all these drawings. So there is the portion of the proposed 21 lots. So I think that's it, unless you have any specific questions for me.
Are there any questions for Heather or comments anybody wishes to make? Seems pretty straightforward.
Heather, I do have one just on the cul-de-sac at that would be the west end. Is that a temporary cul-de-sac because it eventually go through?
Correct, yes.
And in line with, didn't we do that a couple years ago?
We did.
With the turnarounds for the?
It's really important for our city services to have a turnaround.
Good deal.
Good evening, Shane Huntley with ELI. I did the plan engineer on the project, so if you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer them. All right.
I lost track. When did Stone Ridge open up? How long has it been now?
Oh, gosh. Jeff, do you know?
Late 90s.
Yeah, late 90s.
Late 90s?
Yeah, I believe all the original
Way to
plans
give
were
a
from
direct answer.
I know.
You don't even know.
I really don't.
Well,
98 rings a bell of when like all the original drawings.
So you were probably about 10 or 15 years old.
That's what I was thinking.
You don't remember.
Pretty much.
I remember
exact
being
on.
out there for the grand opening.
Yeah.
Question. Well, congratulations to getting where you are at your young age.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, any comments or questions from the commission members? In
Thanks,
that case,
everyone.
we need to vote on this, don't we, Heather?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the preliminary plan for Stone Ridge Plat 9 as described earlier.
I'll second your motion.
All righty. Jamie, you want to call the roll, please?
Ms. Broadwell,
Yes.
Ms. Ennis,
Yes.
Mr. McComber,
Yes.
Mr. Remus,
Yes.
Ms. Sleek,
Yes.
Mr. Spittler,
Yes.
and Mr. Stalter.
Yes.
All righty, motion passes 7-0. We move on to our reports. I'll bet, Judy, you have something to tell us from the Zoning Board of Appeals.
I think my report's going to be longer than we just approved that plot. I have the October 11th zoning board meeting. We had Scott Guthrie at 711 South Summit Street had requested a variance to allow the construction of a 20-foot by 46-foot addition, which would encroach 20 feet into the 30-foot required rear yard setback to the east in the R1 low-density residential zone. That request for variance was granted. The second one was Julie Rasmunsky requested a variance to allow the construction of a 13-foot by 42-foot patio with two 12-feet by 12-feet pergolas, which would encroach 8.67 feet into the 30-foot required rear yard setback to the east in the R1 low-density residential zone at 702 Barnstable Lane. The request for the variance was amended to include only the patio and not the pergola, and by requesting only the patio, the request for the variance was granted. The last one was Ben Gingrich, on behalf of Egg Pro, requested a variance to allow the construction of a gravel equipment display area approximately 76,895 square foot in size, which would not be a hard dustless surface as required at 829 West Newton Road. After much consideration, that request for variance was not granted. That concluded the ones for the October meeting. The November meeting, there was only one, and it was Troy Dunn, 501 West Wooster Street, requested a variance to allow the construction of a 6-foot tall fence in the front yard corner lot. Fence is in the front yard facing South Maple Street, which would be 2 feet taller than the 4-foot maximum allowed and would extend past the front-facing elevation of the principal structure on the adjacent lot to the south. After much discussion, it was determined that Mr. Dunn had worked with a retailer here in town, and they had assured him that the fence was in compliance, and so he took their word for it. We suggested that he perhaps would want to go back to the people who put the fence in and ask them, because his hardship or his particular difficulty was going to be, it would be very costly for him at this time to make that adjustment. He did that, and we received a letter or a phone call from him in which he said they had agreed and had come out and fixed the fence so that it was no longer 2 foot taller, and they had done it at their expense. And he's therefore, when we tabled the motion, we tabled it until the January meeting, and now we will no longer have it on the table because he's no longer in need of a variance, so.
Wow, that's really impressive, Judy.
That's the report from the zoning board.
Nice.
All
You
right.
want anybody to deal with your fence people, why, just come and see us.
Okay. Thank you, Judy.
Wow, that's really.
Heather, do you have anything for us tonight?
Their expense.
Looks like you do.
That doesn't really happen very often.
So this will be our last report of 2023, hard to believe. So I'll give you our typical permit summary. So we are down in permits, so we're at 321 at this time right now, compared to 354 at this time last year. I don't think a lot of us are surprised, given inflation, the cost of everything is up, and so I think that has impacted home projects especially. We've had 28 single-family housing starts so far this year, compared to 21 at this time last year, so that is definitely up. We have not had any multifamily permits. This is based on new construction, not additions or smaller projects. 3 commercial, 0 industrial, and 0 institutional, compared to 1 multifamily last year, 3 commercial, 3 industrial, and no institutional. As far as new commercial industrial recent permits, we actually denied VTech in addition, only because they requested that they're no longer going to move forward with the project at this time. So we clear our books. We don't keep permits on hold for a long period of time. And then currently on hold or on review, Applebee's, we're just waiting for a check from them for escrow. It's in the mail, we're told, so hopefully we can issue that very soon. Ag Pro is on hold, as Judy mentioned, for an addition, since they did not get their variance. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with that yet, but I assume they're relooking at their site plan and their next steps. And then we're also reviewing Quick Trip, new construction on the southeast corner of East Wooster and Dunbridge. As far as subdivisions, we have a replat of Interstate Commerce, which is on the corner of Dunbridge and East Wooster. We've provided the developer engineer staff comments, just waiting on their response. Preliminary plan for Falcon Point subdivision, they also have all their staff comments. We're just waiting on them to respond to those. And then construction plan for Cogan's Plat 9, that's approved, and they'll be moving forward with that next plat as far as the infrastructure. Construction plan for Wood Acres. I don't know if you recall, that was the Wood County Board of Developmental Disabilities project, and they have been provided all their staff comments too. So we'll be waiting for their new construction plan, then they can move forward with their infrastructure also. As far as an update on land use plan, East Wooster Corridor, community action plan implementation, access management policies and guidelines are going to be updated. We are working with the contractor, and we will start early 2024. Subdivision regulations, which is chapter 151 of the ordinances, we are putting another request for proposals out in early January because we only received one company and it was over budget, and so hopefully we get a bit of a better response if we basically put that RFP out again. East Wooster Corridor Future Land Use Plan, you may have noticed that the median was installed on Wooster and then trees. It's looking really nice. The only thing left to do is lighting. So, like a lot of supplies are on back order for at least 6 months. So, but that should be happening very soon. They're dealing with the wiring right now and getting those ready to install. So I think it's really going to look different. And if you recall, back in 2014 already, that was a big goal of the city and our community to improve Wooster Street. So if you look back to 2014 to today, we've made so much progress, and I think you all should be proud of it, because I know a lot of you sitting at these chairs were a big part of that committee. So thanks for your service there, and we'll keep moving forward. Miscellaneous things, just to give you an update on City Council, they did pass the ordinance that you had recommended for interim zoning for Vicky Frobos on South Dunbridge to be innovation and employment. They also approved her rezoning, that was an adjacent parcel, to be also the innovation and employment. City Council also just approved the updates to the zoning code, or the amendments for accessory uses, which if you recall was patios basically, and then to the off-street parking with no changes. So your positive recommendation helped get those passed, I'm sure. And additionally, the City Council and staff have been really working hard on housing. That's been a goal, to really not only increase the availability, but also with neighborhood improvements. And I just wanted to give you an update that council did pass a fee moratorium. So anything related to new housing, whether it be our subdivision fees, a zoning permit fee for a house, or any type of dwelling unit, there won't be a fee charged, and that is until the end of 2025. So again, anything that, it might seem small, but it's something to really kind of help give an incentive for applicants that may be interested. That also includes our project inspector fees, and there's still, utility fees. We have to really cover our costs as far as getting a meter, for electric, to get that charged. And then also we have it's called a CRA, a Community Reinvestment Area tool, that's really been typically used for several years for industrial projects. Well, we've really worked through basically having a policy for residential. So that is something too, again, another incentive, that if you are going to maybe have a new home or add to your home, increase the value, you may be eligible to have a tax abatement for your property. It is different with residential than industrial, because we really are wanting to make the schools whole. So it would not be 100% abatement, it would be 50%. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. Our office is happy to help anybody with those specific questions. Additionally, we also have really been happy that we have been allocated with ARPA funding within our community development division, and we have done several housing projects for, we already have housing programs, but it's under specific income guidelines that not everybody can meet. So the ARPA funding really helped basically meet a gap that we've had with somebody that may be over even just $1 of our income limits. We can't give them the help they may need to have a new roof or furnace, et cetera. So the ARPA funding that we were provided has really done some major improvements to some of our neighborhoods and specific houses. So I just gave you a quick snapshot there of our ARPA funding, which started in 2022 to current. And you'll see so far we've did a total of 63 repairs. And those repairs could be, 2 repairs on 1 address. So then we've did a total of 40 addresses. So, if you kind of think about that, that really is substantial, especially for the person who's living in that home that was struggled with paying for these large ticket items. So we're very proud of that. I'm very thankful for that ARPA funding, and we were able to, we feel, use that in a very meaningful way. Also, maybe not as exciting, but is exciting to us transportation people. TMACOG is actually updating their plan moving forward 2055. It basically is a long-range planning document that they have to update every 5 years. And certainly we want to have Bowling Green on that list because we want to have projects on there so we can get federal funding. If we want to apply for any type of federal funding, we have to be on this list. So it could be a roundabout, it could be a traffic light. I mean, it's a whole variety of things. It could be a multi-use path. So once that draft comes back, we'll be sure to let you know about that so you can provide some feedback and any suggestions you may have on that draft. The Historic Preservation Commission is a very, very busy group. We had a very successful building doctor program in October, and we worked with the Historic Preservation Office on that, and it really was, I think, a positive thing that they did. And then we're also working very hard on historic signage to be installed in our downtown and around our downtown. We received a grant from our Certified Local Government grant, and then the city had to match that, and so we're installing 16 signs, and I gave you a copy of a mock-up of the sign. I know it's hard to read, and what it will look like. So I think that's going to be a really interesting and a attractive thing to visitors. We've already had a lot of hubbub in our office of people asking questions and people just reaching out and saying, I have a great picture of the Clazel from 1930. It's just been a really, I think, a little bit of a different project than zoning, at least for our office, a little more fun in some aspects. So that's it as far as that report, but I did want to let you know that we also be working on our annual report or annual review, which takes us a significant amount of time to get that done. So hopefully by February, I'll have that done, or into March, working with our staff. Also, we likely will not have a January meeting since it really falls pretty close to the holidays, and I won't be here, but we'll see what happens if we have to move that. Also, I want to congratulate Judy. Judy Ennis is famous. I don't know if you all read the paper, but she had an award, a Wood County Spirit Award, so we're really happy that she got that, and it was very well deserved.
Yay! Yay, Judy.
Judy serves on a lot of boards and commissions over the years, and just class act, and we're lucky to have her here, and she doesn't only serve Bowling Green, but the whole Wood County community. So thank you, Judy.
Thank
Thank you, Judy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And happy holidays, everybody. It's hard to believe we're approaching 2024. So thank you for your service, and that's it for me.
Wow, thank you for all you do.
Yes, thank you, Heather. So I just have one question, Heather. One concern, actually. The VTech addition was denied and the project is no longer moving forward. Does that mean they have no interest in expanding at all now in Bowling Green? Or
I can't answer for that. I just know that they contacted us and let us know that they weren't moving forward. So it could just be they don't want to. So
Right.
companies just, sometimes there's bigger decisions than the local company
Yeah.
that happen. And I don't know if that's it,
Well, I
but they
think it's-
just, maybe they're readapting. I can't answer that.
Nate, I think you're on the board right now too, that goes around and talks to these factories and companies. But I was on that commission before, and we need them. Like, we need them to stay in Bowling Green. So I just wonder why it's no longer moving forward. Like, it's important that they stay here in Bowling Green.
Yeah,
So
I
you
don't know. I don't think it was anything serious at all. I mean,
And that there might be
and we
another
didn't
petition-
deny it because anything was wrong. It was just they told us they're not moving forward, so we're not going
Right.
to keep their permit on hold.
And how long can you keep it on hold?
We normally don't do permits longer than a year because we want to close out our books until the next year.
Yeah. VTech is like a huge industry here, so I just hope that we can just keep them. So
Oh,
I was
absolutely. I
curious
know.
as to why it was denied and why they are not moving forward. So
Yeah,
Nate,
like I said, I don't think it was serious. It's
last
just
meeting?
a business direction.
Christian?
Businesses change directions all the time.
Nothing? No? Okay. All right. Thanks, Heather.
No problem. You're welcome.
Are there any other questions for Heather? That was quite a list, Heather, of things you've been working on lately.
Quite impressive, Heather. I would just like to say, Heather, you rock. Like, it's awesome what you do every day. And then you, like the zoning codes and all of that, you're still working through those as well. So, thank you.
It's not me, it's a whole team.
It is.
But thank you.
yes.
Well, if there are no other comments tonight, then we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Happy holidays.
Second? Okay, we all voted 7-0. Adjourn, thank you.